It's a very valid question. It's one we've asked ourselves
Mhm.
and kind of like the inspiration for today's episode. So, hello out there and welcome to the Danny.
And Riana show, this is Danny Pena, Rihanna's husband.
And this is Riana Manuel Pena, Danny's wife. Today we are responding to a comment that we've received and in a sentiment that we have heard several times as we've talked about this process of leaving not only the United States, but leaving Southern California and LA specifically.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of things to talk about from one question. This is why I love getting questions from our viewers or listeners, because this will help us to have different type of conversations. So please continue to send us questions under the comment section below. And also thank you to everybody that have been subscribing to our podcast. Right now on YouTube, we have 818 subscribers.
Woo! We
So
hit
that's
our
pretty
goal,
cool.
800. Let's
Yeah,
keep
we
going.
keep going. We're trying to hit 1,000. We need your support. If you can, share the content, engage with it, like it, comment. It will help for other people to discover the channel. So please support as much as
Yes,
you
and
can.
and thank you to everybody who has been engaging and going back and forth with us in the comments. It's been really, really fun to share this with everybody. This is kind of like a group project, and we're so happy to have you along for the ride. Thank you for the support and for the subscriptions. Thanks for sharing the content. Thanks for watching the whole video. We have some really good retention numbers, so really
Really high.
appreciate you guys
Really
sticking
high.
around and listening
hmm
to the show. This is going to be a fun one, and Danny, we have a really great start to today's show.
Yeah, we love stats. We love charts. We love talk about all that stuff because that's part of our job. We do that behind the scenes and everything. So we have a question from a viewer. Actually, we found this on YouTube. This is from Mina dash what I can't pronounce the whole thing, but I'm just gonna spell it out. YR8LF. Mina says, "Love the content you two make." Well, thank you. If Danny didn't have his origin in DR, as well as having family and friends already there, is there anywhere else you two would have considered living? That's a great question.
It's a very valid question. It's one we've asked ourselves
Mm,
and kind of like the inspiration for today's episode. So, while it's super hard to extract the fact that we do have family and friends in DR, we have kind of put together a little exercise we're going to go through as a group and look at what are some of the things that are important to us and where in the world could we find it. So we have 5 categories we're going to research together today,
hmm
and that is affordability, safety, ease of access slash like proximity to family, which
Oh,
does factor in,
hmm
and then finally quality of life. And there is some data out there that can give us objective views on a few of these.
Now, before we look at the stats and everything, yourself, if you have an opportunity to go somewhere else to move outside the United States,
Mhm.
do you have a particular country that you would like to move to?
I, I've always been really curious about living in Thailand, and I can't say a small amount is because I love Thai food more than any other kind of cuisine.
hmm
We just ordered some last night, and it's funny. I've literally been searching for like home recipes to get that specific like dark soy flavor out of my fried rice that I make at home. I can't do it. I just can't achieve it. It's just so delicious, and I love pad see ew. But also, we've been looking at different places over the course of our research for this move, and Thailand pops up a lot. You'll see it in some of the data today. So it's definitely one that has been on my radar. But yeah, what about you? What's a place that was kind of in the back of your head?
Yeah, I know it's pretty hard to actually move there because you have to, you know, visa and all this stuff, right? But this place has always been my dream to visit, Japan.
Yeah.
Japan. The negative thing is I love Caribbean food, and going to that part of the world, I'm gonna miss it so much. But besides that, I mean, I love sushi. I love the culture. You know, love all the stuff that comes out from there, especially when it comes to games, video games. There's a lot of
Mhm.
history there. Especially with Sega and Nintendo. Yeah, I would love to live in Japan if there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, it's kinda like a nerd holy land in a lot of
Yes,
ways.
100%, 1%. Now, for those that are watching this, please let us know if you have a place that you would like to live, if you have an
Yeah.
opportunity.
What's
Let us
your
know under the
dream
comment
expat
section.
life?
Yeah, let us know under the comment section below.
Very cool. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. So, if we're gonna start with affordability, I've pulled up a couple of websites and, not every site's created equally, but
Mhm.
we have a couple of lists of most and least affordable cities in the world. And we tried to make this a little bit more global because, of course, we can move to less expensive places in the United States. But if we're already going to pick up and move, and honestly, these days, state to state can be similarly drastic culture shock as country to country, we might as well expand it to the whole world because we are a very global friendly family. So,
Mhm.
cheapest places to live in the world in 2026. This is from internationalliving.com. We'll look at a couple different places on this because, of course, there's different ways to gather this data.
I'm
So if we're just kind of,
very curious on this one.
yeah, I mean, if we're, this is more of a touristy type of list. So if we're
Mm.
just scrolling through, number 5 here is Malaysia. They say that around $2,500 a month covers a comfortable lifestyle for, let's say, a single person. That
Hmm.
sounds a little high to me, personally, but
Yeah.
this is, like, for a penthouse apartment, private garden, covers all your groceries, your trips out to have a good time, maybe a little vino every once in a while, so this is what, they are saying is the 5th most affordable city is Malaysia.
For one person,
That sounds high to me.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
4th on this list is Bali, Indonesia, and I've heard Bali come up in a lot of the expat research we've done. A
Yeah.
good amount of
Mhm.
people have moved to Bali and love it.
Mhm.
They're saying again for about 2,500 a month US, you could live comfortably for a family. So this is a little bit wider of coverage for that same amount.
Mhm.
And if they just don't go out as much, don't do as many social engagements, maybe a little bit closer to 1,400. So that's cool. That's not a bad amount.
You know what stood out to me is so rent it's $840 a month,
Yeah.
which includes all utilities, maid service 3 times a week, and cable TV. That's not bad. eight
That's
hundred
not
and
bad.
forty bucks is not bad.
Not bad. Not too shabby.
Oh man,
And
let
then
me tell
going
you
out
how.
to eat 20, $25, like that's pretty decent. Like I
Yeah.
haven't seen a meal that low in a long time. So not
Hmm.
bad.
This is good. This is
Next
good.
down on the list is Thailand. Woo!
I,
One
I've
for
been
one.
hearing I've been hearing so much, and also been seeing a lot of videos about Thailand. So
Yeah.
many. There's also a rapper that I follow here. She actually moved to Thailand because she needed some mental
Mhm.
space. Taking a little break from the states and everything. And yeah, I've been hearing great things about this place,
For
Thailand.
sure.
Hmm.
Same, same. And of course, the Thailand is not just one city. So this would be somewhere like you could either go to Bangkok or Chiang Mai. So there's a couple of different options here, but they're saying about 2,000 ish a month. You can live a really decent life in Thailand, which that sounds pretty good to me as well. And of
Hmm.
course, even this article mentions the food being one of the highlights, which I, of course, would enjoy quite a bit.
Nice.
For example, a full roast chicken with 2 sides of salad feeds 3 people for $8. I mean,
What you think about this?
come on.
Grocery bills stays under $300.
Heavenly. That's a dream. That's literally
That's
a
really
fever
good.
dream.
Yeah, that's really good. And that's not
That's
even
incredible.
counting you eating outside, 'cause I heard that's even cheap too, like
Yeah,
eating around the area, so cool.
absolutely. The other thing I really like about what I've seen from Thailand is it's super walkable or, ride shareable. Like, you don't have to own a vehicle,
Mm,
which is cool. Like, that's always nice. And
Oh,
then decent healthcare, which is
that's what I was gonna say.
obviously
I was gonna mention like, yo, healthcare. Oh, awesome.
yeah,
So it's not bad.
which is why Thailand was pretty high on my list of places to think about, before we made our decisions for sure. We'll see if Thailand pops up on any other parts of these lists. And next is a couple of places in Vietnam. Let's see. They said they live on their social security income of 1,800 US dollars per month. And they say, not only do I live comfortably, but I also save money every month. Whew, imagine.
Imagine that.
Imagine. We save every month, of course, but it's important that everyone should be able to. And that's cool that they're able to do that on their social security, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and here's one thing that stood out to me. Just reading this quickly here. It says one bedroom apartment, $494 a month. Now, in here, it doesn't say the size at
I
all.
mean, we
Is it
assume
small?
it's pretty tight, one person, maybe two.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And also, here and wow, you skipped the whole thing. Okay, my food budget eating out for nearly every meal averages about $250 a month. Man, that is really good too.
not bad. Eating out every meal. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Luxury. That's a luxury lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like that's amazing. And then of course, healthcare being a place like we've heard a lot about medical tourism, which chops up on a lot of these that we'll see throughout today. Um, in Vietnam is another place that people find really great healthcare abroad. Next is Sri Lanka, and they're saying that they have an extravagant life for 2,200 a month, including a villa by the beach, traveling, dining out, getting massages, going to sporting events, spa treatments, and socializing. For two, that's not bad.
That's not
It's
bad.
not bad at all,
Not bad. Not bad at all.
for
I noticed
sure.
that this list is focused on Asia a lot. I haven't seen
I
anything
don't think
like
it's
Latin America.
purposely focused on Asia. I think they're simply pointing out 5 testimonials for really great cost of living for a very what feels like luxury lifestyle. Now, if we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to go a little more objective, let's go to cost of living city ranking. And this is from mercer.com. This data is from 2024. Obviously, it needs to be adjusted. For 2026 here in the United States, things are very different than they were even last year. But let's see what they've got here. So this is a cost of living list. So number 1 is highest, and whatever the last number is lowest.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at a map here, least expensive and most expensive. Oh, look, there's a most expensive dot right on top of Los Angeles.
It's right on top of our house.
Would you look at that? Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not surprised that Los Angeles and New York is there. Also, London. I've been hearing that London is expensive, really
Getting it more
expensive
and
over
more every
there.
day too. New York, of course, up there, Hong Kong, Singapore. There's a, a lot of blue dots where we would expect to see them. And some least expensives here too. Now let's scroll down to the just a couple of highlights from the paragraph overview, specifically about North America. In North America, number 1 most expensive city, New York, and that's 7th in the global ranking. And then Los Angeles number 10, not far behind. San Francisco 13. So the ones you're usually expecting to see, right? The usual suspects are here for more expensive places in the US. And it's interesting, Danny, you were saying that like that list, that anecdotal list focused a lot on Asia. Hong Kong and Singapore, the 2 most expensive cities in the world.
Mm,
So not all of Asia is very affordable, but if you look here, we're going to kind of scroll down and do our best to stop around Dominican
By the
Republic.
way, I saw Miami there on the list. I think it was like 16, which I'm not surprised. It is
Yeah, Miami's up
expensive.
there. Actually, I don't know. Can I search? I can. I'm going to search.
Oh,
Dominican
Santo
Republic,
Domingo. Oh,
Santo
yeah.
Domingo
Santo
and
Domingo
Dominican
is
167th.
not surprised.
167. So let
Not
me scroll
surprised.
down for the whole list here. It's on page 3 of 3. So that tells you how far down, it is an expense, which is
Mhm.
great. And
Mhm.
keep in mind, Santo Domingo is the capital. Like
And that's a big city in
that is
DR.
the biggest city, right? So
Biggest
that
city.
is not a bad marker to say that DR is pretty affordable.
Mhm.
And we know that anecdotally, but it's cool to see it on a list, right?
And this was in 2024, so I could imagine
It might
2025
be a little more
completely
now.
changed.
There's
Yeah.
some growth for sure, which we're
Mhm.
happy for. But yeah, it's cool to see some objective data confirming what we've already sort of felt in our bones while we've been there, what our decision drivers are. It's more affordable than Los Angeles. So one of the places
Mhm.
we're gonna look at is DR and all of these lists wherever it exists, just to get some confirmation bias. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right, let's move on to safety. And I don't know. There's a lot of emotional response to looking at lists like this when it comes to safety because people feel a certain amount of safety or not. And that doesn't necessarily always match with what is objectively reported, right? So if we're
What
looking
year is
at,
this? What year is
sorry,
this?
let me scroll back up. This is a worldpopulationoverview.com.
Mhm.
Sorry, worldpopulationreview.com. And this is ranking the safest cities in the world. So the lower the number. So number one would be the most safe, and the higher numbers would be less safe, right?
I'm not surprised about Tokyo because Tokyo,
Tokyo's number one.
every person that I talked to that been to Japan,
Yeah.
even women that we know that been
Yeah.
there to Japan. One of our friends, Yami, she was telling us. Well, actually, she was telling me years ago. She went to Tokyo Game Show, walked around 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like, I felt safe.
Yeah.
Wasn't didn't feel weird or anything like that. So that's pretty cool to see Tokyo number one. Not surprised at all.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that your city, or your place is here. And it's nice to see that okay, like you had some good points, Danny. Japan is a good one.
Hmm.
Also Osaka is number 3. And a lot of places here people might feel differently about. Washington DC is number 7. That's pretty great. That's the highest for the US.
Hmm.
Chicago is number 11. San Francisco 13, New York 15, and I know that's definitely going up from recent reports. So LA is 17 here. It's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. LA is not. It's not bad. I mean, look, is this like what this chart is 100% like accurate? Accurate? Like, look, there's some places if you go, of course, there's going to be some type of violence in there, right? But honestly, like we've been living here now, how long now? Like 6 years, and
Yeah.
it's been great. Like we've been good here, So when it comes to safety, so do
So I'm
you
looking
see?
for cities in Dominican Republic
So
and I'm
there's
not
none.
seeing any. Okay, Santiago. Here we go. That
Oh,
might be
Santiago,
that might be Chile.
33,
That might
number
be Chile, I'm
33.
not sure. But ranked
Thir-
33rd. Not bad. Right around Beijing, Shanghai, Buenos Aires, Istanbul,
Wait, so that could be Santiago, Chile. You're
Moscow.
right.
It could be in
Yeah.
Chile, it could be in DR.
Hmm.
But we don't have the data we don't have any data from DR on this list, probably because they don't even bother sending in reports because it's actually fairly safe.
Hmm.
And we can look at more information about all of these things for DR and maybe Punta Cana specifically in another episode. But
Sure.
in the interest of just kind of moving through other cities we would think about, let's talk about ease of access and then kind of like wrap that into proximity to family because they're in the same bucket, more or less. Like,
Hmm.
one of the things that is really important to us is that it's easy for people to get to us, right? Like we want to be social, we want friends to visit, we want to host family. My mom and shout out to mom, it's her birthday today. Happy
Yeah. Happy
birthday.
birthday.
My mom and her husband, they're retired. And if they want to come stay with us for 3, 6 months, we want that to be easy, right? We don't want people to have to get a visa or, worry about citizenship being at risk or anything like that. So
Hmm.
that's another really big point in DR's favor because you don't have to have any kind of additional paperwork to live there, own property, stay as long as you want.
Hmm.
And you pay a penalty if you stay more than 30 days if you're not a citizen, but it's not even that expensive.
Yeah, it's not. I know there's. I think after 30 days, that's when they start charging you. But it's like it's super cheap. I think there's people that stay there for like almost a year, and it's like $100, 100 and
Yeah,
change you
it's
pay.
not bad.
That's nothing. It's not that bad. But I mean, I prefer that than other countries that make it even more difficult to get in and or to live. You know, like places like Canada is pretty tough in there too. Unless you get a job there,
Yeah, and there's
you
a lot
know.
of other popular expat cities like Costa Rica or, Lisbon, Portugal. You need work visas or you need, visitor visas, and
Hmm.
that's something that we won't have. We work remote, we work for ourselves. So, it's a little bit difficult to separate that from our decision making because it's so critical.
Hmm.
And as we said before, it's close to family. It's only 2 hours from Florida. It's the same time zone for half of the year until we get into the daylight savings. So it's easy, and ease of access and being close to the people we love and want to see all the time is a big point. And Thailand and Japan are a little bit harder to get in and out of with the frequency that we will have to use. So
Hmm.
those two are big, and DR is really easy. And then finally, Danny, the big one, quality of life. That's kind of what sparked all of this is we want better than what we have here. And I would say LA didn't feel the way it feels now when we moved here 6 years ago. And
Hmm.
probably most places in the US felt different 6 years ago.
Yeah, I've been also thinking about that. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, I remember when we moved there was people filming a lot. Like, there was like a lot of production around the area, you know, filming movies and all that. And that was like all the time when we moved in. I don't see that, and it's been like that for like the past couple of years because people, a lot of studios been moving out. They've been filming movies in other places outside of Los Angeles or in the United States outside of that too. So like little things like that, we notice the
Yeah.
change, you know,
And they
and that
add
was
up.
just within a couple of years, you know. So,
They add up. And with the movie industry kind of starting to exodus from LA, it's not just people who work on movies. It's the ride share. It's the people who have the restaurants around the studios. It's the craft services. It's the the bicycle repair shop that like it's everything ripples out, and we feel it. We see it and we feel it and we hear about it everywhere we go.
hmm.
There's people who have been like Oscar award winning screen editors or film editors, and they can't find work, and that ripples out and it doesn't feel good. So there's a lot that we hope will change, but truly in that way there's not the same ripe opportunity here that we were really excited for when we moved.
Hmm.
And we do feel that in DR. And we've talked about it in other episodes. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future as more of the business stuff starts developing, which it already is. It's very exciting, but it's hard to get new stuff going here. And that's what we want to do. We want to build, we want to create, we want to make opportunities for other people. We can't really do it here. So that's a big quality of life piece that is not measurable, but it's definitely something that we think about. Something else we think about is how happy people are. So the World Happiness Report 2026 actually just dropped. Shout out to Finland. They are number one, what is it, 9 years in a row or something?
That's cool.
Finland's killing it. And what's interesting, I'll just put a little tiny shout out here. The World Happiness Report did mention that North America and Western Europe's young people are very much not as happy as they used to be.
Hmm.
That we take to heart. That we really take that to heart. Because we have a young people and we need to take care of them. So if we look at the dashboard, of course, Finland, number one. Shout out to y'all. You'll have a great place over there. Amazing salmon soup. Like, ugh,
Oh yeah,
great
really
meal.
good, really good. We
I
we we
always default to
really
food.
we really had a great time when we went last year to Finland. We went
Absolutely.
to Remedy. For those that don't know about video games, Remedy is a well-known video game studio. They make a lot of cool games like Alan Wake, Control, and so on. So because of that, us visiting the studio, we went to Finland. We got to check out the city and everything. Like it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Shout out to Remedy and all of the amazing people who hosted us there. But let's look for some of these ones we've been talking about, right? So we got Finland at the top, Costa Rica, as I mentioned. I've heard that come up a lot and people talking about really great places to expatriate to. Sweden, we have friends in Sweden. Shout out to Pete and Allie. Oh wait, no,
No, they live in Switzerland. Number
Switzerland, which is
10.
10. Sorry, I'm
Sweden,
looking further
Sweden,
down.
Sweden. We
Switzerland,
had
number
we had
10.
friends that lived in Sweden,
We
but
have friends who did live in Sweden and they left
yeah,
too. And then if we go further down, we've got
United
United States,
States.
23.
Tw-
Not bad. Funny enough,
uh,
it's above Canada, which I would not have guessed.
I I want to know why United States is 23 higher than Canada.
It's not 23 numbers higher than Canada. It's 2 numbers higher than Canada. They're
I know,
23
no.
and 25.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at number 23 and Canada number 25. Yeah, I would like to
Yeah.
know why.
So here are the categories. They do life evaluation overall, but they
Mm,
include social support, GDP per capita, which can be a little skewed when some people are doing really well and a lot of other people are not. So I give that with the hugest eyebrow raise possible.
mhm,
Healthy life expectancy, freedom, whatever that means, generosity, perceptions of corruption, positive or negative emotions, the amount of people who donate, volunteer, or help strangers. So these are all the things that they judge on, and various numbers for each category. So I will say again, this data can be weighted by a handful of people doing really, really well, even if other people are not. So
mhm.
US is 23, Canada's 25. If we keep going, UK 29, pretty decent. And then Brazil, another spot that we've heard a lot of people say is good for expats. Italy is 38.
Mhm.
Spain 41. And then I'm gonna keep going. I think DR is coming up here. DR is right below Japan. Japan's 61. DR is 64. And
So,
and just again, Portugal, another place that we've heard,
mhm,
69. Nice.
mhm.
And Republic of Korea is 67. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's around DR. It's up there. This is a very long list.
It's a very
So
long list.
being
It's
in the
just
top 100 is not bad.
yeah. So it's also based on these other categories, right? So
Mhm.
that will help you to go up. So what I noticed with United States, it had 104 in under freedom.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that is also the reason why it helped to go even higher because of that.
of course. And that is
Mm-hmm.
a very important thing to remember. This is based on what people's perception is.
Mm-hmm.
And if the perception is, I can say what I want, I can do what I want, I can start a business, I can express my sexuality, I can dress however I like all of those things are part of what people interpret as freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, personally, I do think all of those are very, very good in the United States. Are some of those things at stake right now? Sure. But
Mm-hmm.
like that is the perception of everything that they gathered over the last year throughout 2025.
So which one under Dominican Republic that stood out to you out of all these categories?
I think it's really cool to see that people donate a lot. That's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And positive and negative emotions. I don't really know what that means, but perception of corruption only being 32, that's great. And
That's
I've
great.
heard anecdotally people commenting on corruption in the Dominican Republic, but it doesn't seem like that tracks with the people who live there. So that's good. I like seeing that.
Inequality, 132.
Yeah. If you're curious, we can go back to the US to see those numbers.
Yeah, I'm very curious about compare.
For US, inequality is 6, and then perceptions of corruption 48, a little bit higher than DR.
And donated is
And
pretty
donated
low.
16 versus the 88 in Dominican Republic. So
But you see how
different.
looking at these numbers change a lot of things,
It,
because of the
yes,
conversation. That's why I'm like,
yes.
that's why I brought it up to you.
Which is
So
why
that's
I gave
good.
all the caveats I gave before. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
do a fun little exercise, they have an interactive chart where you can actually look at how the numbers have changed from 2010-ish to now
Mhm.
and the life evaluation. So the highest score overall for life evaluation is 10. For the US, back in 2011, it was a 7.27. And if you go back to last year, it's a 6.86, went down a little bit.
It went down. Mhm.
If we look at Dominican Republic and add that, it used to be a 5. Wow, a 5 in 2011. And now it's up to a 6 in 2025.
So it,
So
it looks
US
like
is
it's
coming down little. DR is going up pretty quick.
yeah, DR is going up. I noticed US dipped a bit and it's like a little bit going up, but not as much compared to DR,
And if
you know, so
we put in our other dream dream places, Japan and Thailand are right around DR. So once again, we were on the right track.
yeah.
We were on the right track. All of these are pretty equal.
You know what we got to do, Reed, in for next year? I think we should go back to the chart to see how much has changed
Yeah. I
within the
think the
year.
next 5 years for Dominican Republic, this number is going to change quite a bit.
Yeah,
All
100%.
right. And finally, another measure for quality of life, Danny brought up the Global Mind Health Report, and
Mhm.
this is from 2025. It was actually just reported back in February of this year. This is something that comes from Sapien Labs, and they do an incredibly detailed breakdown of
Mhm.
what people's mental health is in different places. So I can't go through this whole thing. It's very long. This is 45
Yeah.
pages long.
They talk a lot about like spiritual family bonding,
Yeah,
like a
so
bunch of other
I'll give
stuff.
you kind
So,
of like the categories they talk through, the collective mind of the world, mind health across different countries, factors driving mental health in young adults. Once again, a lot of what we're doing is moving for the betterment of our family and
mhm.
the young people. Factors driving mental health in young adults really points at that. Insights and interpretations, additional reading, and then they talk about all their methodologies, which is, again, really important to keep in mind. If they're interviewing people or researching individuals, it's important to know how they choose them. So if we go down to page, what was it, 19? We're
19.
going to
Mhm.
see the percent of this is the family bond section, and we're going to see the percentage of people who feel like they have strong family bonds by country. This is figure 9, again,
You can
page
zoom in.
19.
You can
Look
zoom
what's
in.
at the top, Dominican Republic.
Can you zoom in very quick? I think you can
I will
zoom in.
zoom in here for anybody
Yeah.
watching on YouTube.
Yeah, 'cause
DR is
mhm.
number 1.
Yeah, and
With age,
it was number 2 last year.
and this is important. It's ranked number 1 for people ages 18 to 34. It's also ranked number 1 by people over the age of 55. Different generations all agree the Dominican Republic has really strong family bonds, and that's something that we are incredibly, incredibly impressed by.
Yeah.
I will say Finland's up here too.
Mhm.
Finland's number 3 on this list if you're ranking by the younger generations, the parents' generation, the 18 to 34-year-olds. And then Costa Rica makes another appearance. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down.
Mhm.
And there's a couple here that we've heard about. Sri Lanka is back. We've got Italy, Portugal. So there's a couple of common threads for a few of the places that we had been hearing in our research. The US is a little bit further down, so these aren't numbered. Let me count real quick while Danny gives his thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all about Dominican Republic being on top for both 18 to 34 and also 55 plus.
Yeah.
Um
So
here here,
US
here
is 31 on this list.
mhm.
Just below US is Mexico, Singapore, UK, France, Ireland.
Mhm. I do want to mention this like, here when when somebody is already older, family member is really old, like the moms, dads, right? They always will put them like in a nursing home, right? In Dominican Republic, that doesn't exist. Like they will stay with their family, like they will not leave, and
Yeah, and
people will take care of their moms, their grandmothers, etc. So like that's something that's very very important over there when it comes to that. And there's a lot of family activities over there. A lot. And let's say when we cook, Like even for example, Ree, when we went to Miami, I showed you a little sneak peek at first when we first started dating, where when it's Christmas or
Noche buena.
Noche Buena, holidays, like we get 100 plus people in our house. Like everybody bring food and everything. So now I do want to show you one more thing before we leave, Ree. And this is
Okay.
something that I noticed, which is also very important for us. So very quickly, let me show you very quick because we have to go. Where is the share? Okay, boom. Share is ultra processed food. Very
Ooh.
quickly. Number
Mm.
one, United States.
Not surprised.
Not
We are number
surprised.
1.
Yeah, not surprised. I just want to show that real quick before we leave.
Wait, where's DR in that one? Did you find it? Is it in the
DR
top or
is
not?
actually number 28.
Oh, okay.
Number 28. Let me,
Not too bad.
not too bad.
That's fine. We'll be eating a lot of fresh fruits and veggies and
Yeah,
produce. So,
yeah, number 28. Yeah. So, yep. No, I just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for this great conversation. By the way, we love charts, we love all that stuff,
love
and thank
charts.
you so much. Please subscribe to the show. Go on YouTube right now and share the content. It will be very very helpful for us. So, all right,
Yeah.
everyone. Anything else, Free?
No, and that's it. It's good to do the research, and that's something that I can't stress enough and that we love talking about on this channel with all of these episodes we've been recording. Like, it's not just based on vibes. It's important for us to have data and to make sure that we're making not just emotional decisions, but also ones backed by logic.
Mhm.
And I feel better about this every time we look something else up. So really, really good stuff here. Thanks, Mina, for your comment. Keep them coming. And yeah, maybe you'll inspire our next episode with your questions. So send them in.
All right, keep it up. All right, everyone. Until next time, we're out.
Bye.